All right, Olivia, this is for your test on Tuesday. So I want you to look over it today and again on Monday. So everything that we're doing is systems of equations. And we can do and solve a system of equations. It's just system of equations because there's more than one equation. That's why it's called a system, because there's two equations. And we can do that 3 different ways. And we can do it by graphing. We can do it by substitution, and we can do it by elimination, right? So we have graphing, we have substitution, and we have elimination. Those are our 3 ways in order to solve a system of equations. Okay, so it says sketch and label the 3 different types of solutions possible, right? So we can have, when we're sketching or graphing, actually in all of them, we can have 1 solution, infinitely many solutions, or no solutions, right? 1 solution, I'm going to get 1x and 1y for my answer. Infinitely many, I'm going to use my infinity sign, but when I solve by graphing, the line is identical, so my 2 lines would be like right on top of each other. And when I have an infinitely many solution, when I'm using substitution or elimination, I'm going to have like 15 is equal to 15, or 0 is equal to 0. So if the numbers on either side equal to each other, my x and my y are gone, then I have infinitely many solutions. And when I come up with something where 2 lines don't touch when I'm graphing, or they're parallel, they never touch each other to form a solution, that's no solutions when graphing. And then with substitution and elimination, if I would eliminate the x's and y's and have like 15 equals 4, that's not a true statement. 15 does not equal 4. And so that problem would have no solutions, okay? So that's just a basic understanding of what we're doing. All right, so if we start, we're going to work through some of this study guide. I know we already did it together, but we're just going to concentrate a little bit more on it today. All right, so on here, we had 2 lines already given to us. So this is a graph, a system of equations graph, where I have 2 lines that crossed each other, right? Okay, and we have all this on here. Oh, sorry, that's a copy of it. And where the 2 lines cross is our solution. Okay, so 1 line came this way, 1 line came this way, they crossed here. Okay, so our solution is where they cross, and remember that this is the x and this is the y always. Okay, so I'm going to say on that dot, on that point where they meet, what's my x? What's my y? 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right means that that's positive, so that's a positive 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down is negative 5. Now if I start from the origin, which is 0, 0, the middle, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where my point meets, and that's why my solution is correct. We also have to label the lines themselves. And remember here that y equals mx plus b is the king, right? Everything about what we're doing when graphing, y equals mx plus b is important. Okay, so the b is where I cross the y-intercept. Okay, so this is y-intercept, and that's where I cross. So if I am going to name this line like this, y equals mx plus b, b is where it crosses, so I'm going to start there with negative 1. So y equals what? X plus or minus b. In this case, b is negative 1. And then from there to my solution, what is my slope? I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4, which makes it negative because I went down, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's negative 4 over 4. Okay, and that's the solution for this line. The next line, I'm starting at my B, -1, -2, -3. So if I were to say y equals what x plus what b, I start at -3. How do I get to my solution set? Down 1, 2, so it's negative over 1, 2, 3, 4. So -2/4. And that's the solution for your second line. Okay? All right, so this guy, we only have one line, right? It looks like, but I have an arrow here and an arrow here, which tells me that I have two lines exactly on top of each other. Anytime I have two lines exactly on top of each other, my answer is going to be infinitely many, okay? Right? Because anything that I plug in for x, the y is going to follow suit, and we're going to be on the same line, right? So everything, both of the lines that I'm looking for are going to be identical because they're the same. Again, I'm going, sorry, the paper's slipping on me. Y equals mx plus b. What is my b? So I'm going to see, where do I cross? Right? -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. So -7 is my b. How do I get from b to this other point? I'm going up, so I know I'm going to be positive with my slope or my m. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up. 1, 2, 3 over, which gives me 9/3 as my slope. 9 divided by 3 is 3. You can leave it like this, or you can say 3x minus 7 since it's plus a negative. So y equals 3x minus 7 is the solution for both of these lines, and it's infinitely many because they are on top of each other, exactly on top of each other. All right, so that's it for graphing. Substitution, I'm going to send you these notes also, and the problems worked out. Okay, so for substitution, I'm always looking to solve for x or y first. That's going to be step 1. And then use your answer for either y equals or x equals. Use that answer to solve for the other. So if I say x equals, I'm going to plug that x into y so that I can solve for y by substituting it in. So if we look at our first problem, y equals 6x plus 14. That's golden. That's what I want. I want one of these two problems to say y equals or x equals so that I have something to substitute in. That's why it's called substitution. So y equals this. So I'm going to plug that into this y. So 2x minus, what is y? Y is 6x plus 14 equals 2. Now I have no y's, only x's, and I can solve for x. So here, both the 2x and 6x are on the same side. I'm going to join them. 2x minus 6x, negative 4x plus 14 equals 2. Okay? You are very good at working out the rest of this as long as you pay attention to your signs and use your calculator correctly. Right? I want x by itself, so I'm going to get rid of 14. Well, if it's plus 14, that means I'm going to subtract 14 from both sides. I know that you love to scratch it out. Get rid of it, right? Bring down negative 4x. 2 minus 14, that's going to be a negative 12, right? And then last step, again, you know that I am dividing by negative 4 to get rid of that. So x is now by itself. And x is equal to negative 12 divided by negative 4, which is going to be a positive 3. Because negative divided by negative is a positive. So now, up here, what's my goal? I am trying to solve for a solution. My x is 3. How do I find my y? Well, now I know what x equals, so I can go plug it in and solve for y. So y equals 6 times, not x, but now x equals 3. So 6 times 3 plus 14. So y equals 6 times 3, which is 18, plus 14. Okay, 18 plus 14. You can put that in your calculator. I feel like I'm doing something wrong here. Give me a second. Okay, hold tight. I'm actually going to put this into the other problem. All right, so I'm going to do this one. 2 times 3 minus y equals 2. I'm sorry, I did something wrong right there. So 2 times 3 instead of 2 times x, because x is 3. 2 times 3 is 6 minus y equals 2. All right, I want to get rid of that 6 to get y by itself. It's positive, so I'm subtracting. I'm scratching that out. And negative y equals 2 minus 6, which is negative 4. Divide by negative 1 because my y can't be negative, and y equals 4. Okay, so my answer now for my solution is x equals 3, which we solved for, and y equals 4. So 3 and 4. Okay, all right, we're going to do one more of those. All right, and we're going to start here. My goal, again, is I need something to be y equals or x equals to get me started, right? To be able to substitute and plug in for something. I don't have that here, but I do have it here. So y equals negative 7x plus 4. So what does y equal? 7x plus 4, and I'm going to plug that in for y right here. So 9x minus 2 times, what does y equal? Negative 7x plus 4 is equal to 15. Now I'm going to go back. You know how to do this. You were great at it. We're going to distribute there. Kiss your mama, kiss your papa. Okay, negative 2 times a negative 7 is going to give me a positive 14x. And negative 2 times a positive 4 is going to give me a negative 8 equals 15. Again, my x's are on the same side, so I can join them together. And 14x plus 9x, that's going to be 23x minus 8 equals 15. Now, I'm trying to get x by itself to solve for it. So I've got minus 8, opposite of minus 8, plus 8 on both sides. And I now have 23x, get rid of that, equals 15 plus 8 is 23. Okay, my last step, 23 divided on both sides, and x equals 1. So again, my goal is to get a solution, and that solution is either going to be x and y, infinitely many, or no solutions. Well, if I have an x, I know that I'm going to have one solution. So x is 1, and how do I find y? By taking that x and plugging it back into the other problem that I didn't solve yet and figuring that out. So y equals, that's what I need to solve for, correct? Negative 7. Instead of x, I'm plugging in 1 for x plus 4. So y equals negative 7 times 1 is negative 7 plus 4. And y equals negative 3. Okay? So y is equal to negative 3. And my final solution is 1, negative 3. All right. Very good. So that's substitution, and that's what they're all going to look like. Study the ones that we did on the review. Walk yourself through these a couple of times. Pay attention to the directions. Okay, the last part of this test is elimination. Okay, and I wrote on here, elimination is just that. It's elimination. I am trying to eliminate either my x or my y in order for me to solve for the other one. Okay, so I'm going to have x and y in every answer here. I have x and y in every equation, x and y, and I got to get rid of one of them. I'm not substituting, but I'm eliminating. So I'm getting rid of one of them to solve for the other. Okay, and so watch what we're going to do here. in order for me to get rid of something when we're doing a regular problem, I use its opposite. So if I have plus 2, I'm going to subtract 2. If I have negative 2, I'm going to add 2, right? So in this case, I need to get one of these x's, 2 x's, to be negative. So I'm going to multiply everything by negative 1. And that's going to change this top one. So negative 1 times 2x is now negative 2x. Negative 1 times negative 3y is now positive 3y. And negative 1 times 0 is just going to remain 0, because anything times 0 equals 0. I'm keeping this. I'm not doing anything to it, because the point here was for me to be able to eliminate or get rid of an x and y. Okay? So now I'm like adding these two solution sets together. So negative 2x plus positive 2x eliminates. That's the whole point. I just eliminated one of the variables so that I can solve for the other, which is going to be y. So 3y plus 1y is 4y. 0 plus a negative 16 is negative 16. So 4y equals negative 16. Divide both sides by 4. You know how to do that, so I'm not going to sit on that long. And 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. So I just solved for y, which means, again, I know I have a solution set with one solution. I'm going to plug negative 4 in here for y, because remember, this is always x, y inside that solution set. Now I know my y, so I can go solve for my x. Okay, so I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to say 2x plus, what's y? Negative 4 equals negative 16, right? So get rid of my 4, plus 4 on both sides, and 2x equals negative 12, okay? Get rid of that. I know you like to do that, sorry. And now in order to get x by itself, I'm dividing both sides by 2. And x equals negative 12 divided by 2. In your calculator, it should be negative 6, right? So my x is negative 6. And I'm going to come and put that right in there. So that answer is negative 6, negative 4. I have one solution. All right, over here, same thing. I want to eliminate one of these. Well, 4x and 8x, they're not the same. So I've got to change something there. So I'm going to go check y. I have 1y and 2y. Those are not the same. So I've got to change something. Now, if I look at this and say I'm going to multiply it by negative 2. So then I have negative 8x and a positive 8x. That makes sense, so I can eliminate one. So we're going to multiply by negative 2 everything here to help me have something I can eliminate. So negative 2 times 4x is negative 8x. Negative 2 times y is negative 2y. And negative 2 times 7, negative 14. Now, I changed this one, and I keep this one. 8x plus 2y equals 14. Now watch what happens with this one. Negative 8 plus 8 eliminates. Negative 2y plus 2y eliminates. So this side is 0 equals negative 14 plus 14 is 0. So I eliminated everything, actually, and it says 0 equals 0. Well, is that a true statement? Does 0 equal 0? Yes, 0 does equal 0. And so this has infinitely many solutions. Okay, and that's how all of those are going to work. I'm going to use something to eliminate and solve for one or the other. Work your way through this video. Watch it more than once. Review your papers. If you have specific questions, send them to me tonight so I can answer them in another video tomorrow. And then I'll see you on Tuesday. All right, my girl, good luck.